Hey everyone, Jason here from JL Down Under. Sorry it's a bit noisy. I'm just walking, drop my car for service, and yeah, while waiting, I'll go for a walk and kind of thought like maybe I'll create content about what are those things, what are the mistakes that we basically do, as a migrant when we got our permanent residency. So if you want to learn, stay and watching, and hopefully you will learn something. By the way, all the things that I'm sharing here is based on my experience. Um, no pun intended to anyone. This is basically me talking about my experience, about me, and what I done, what are the mistakes I did. So just bear in mind. Number one is changing your lifestyle. When I say changing your lifestyle, it's all from changing your house where you live in, upgrading the place where you're living. Instead of you before, you're in a share house, you're like, you know what, it's time for us to move in a bigger place, expensive area, stopping rent sharing, buying a new car, or even just buying expensive stuff because you're thinking, you know what, I'm not paying tuition fee anymore. I'm working hard. I deserve it. So I can afford this now. And that money that probably you spend on. If you put it in a shares or in a small, let's say a Bitcoin way back then that grows, then you'll be checking and it grows a little bit. So those are the simple things. That's my mistake. And if I've done it properly, I would have been in a so much better place right now. Number two is not preparing for your future, not thinking about your finances. You can't just keep working like many years without any plan, without any goals, any alignment to what you want to achieve. It took me like 5 years, 6 years in order to realize that I have to plan my future here in Australia. Yes, you're already permanent resident, but where are you gonna go after that? What's your goal? Are you planning to buy your house in the future? Well, you have to be prepared for it. Are you planning to retire early? You have to be ready for it. Make a plan and don't just like be contented like I achieved my permanent residency. I'm a citizen now and that's it. That's when the people starts to become stagnant and stay where they are. And you don't want to be in that position because after 20 years, 30 years, you'll be asking yourself like why I didn't do anything. Number three is kind of related to what I said to number two. So be wise financially. So what do I mean by that? They're all actually interrelated. So if you want to achieve something, you have to sacrifice things. I mentioned this to my other video. You have to do practice a delayed gratification if you really want to achieve something. How is that works? How is it possible? So first, probably is when I mentioned about upgrading your lifestyle. Number one, like don't upgrade just straight away. Keep delaying your gratification. Maybe think this way: before you can save money for your tuition fee, like thousands of dollars, how about continue doing it and diverting it into mindset where, you know what, that tuition fee I'm gonna keep saving. Again, I'll still think that I'm a student and I'm gonna keep saving. I'm not gonna upgrade my lifestyle. And then after 1 year or two, after becoming permanent resident, you're already ready to buy your first property. Maybe it's an investment or maybe a place to live. So that's something that I would do if I'm gonna come back. Something that I will put in my mindset that I will be working hard because, like I said, this is my mistake, and I should not have thought like, oh, I'm permanent resident now, and I have all the rights. I'm entitled to do this and do that. Tips and tricks that I can tell you is when you really want to save money, it's not just about like your income. You can actually do some hacks to generate extra income. For example, you already made mistake. You upgraded your life. You moved into a bigger house, and you wanna you wanna you realize something that you wanna save more money, and you want to buy your own place. You wanna invest in a real estate. So what are you gonna do now? So again, this is my experience. When I moved into a house, like not a very expensive house, but still expensive. It's a four-bedroom house, so it's only me, my wife, and our baby back then. And I saw all the rooms are empty, and I know for the fact that in Sydney, house sharing is normal, is common. Because me and my wife sacrificed our space in order to save money by house sharing. How does it work? There are other people that doesn't want to put their name in the lease, or maybe they're not able to afford it because they don't have histories of renting a house. What they do, they'll come to the share house. So if you're living in a place where there's a spare bedroom, use that spare bedroom to save money by renting it out. What I'm trying to say here is, imagine if you're paying so much money on your rent and you have a spare bedroom, why not sharing it and earn $300 on top of your savings? And you'll be surprised that it will boost up your savings, will boost up your cash flow. Also, one trick I did was, we have two cars. My wife stopped using it because she worked in the city. So she can't drive in the city because it's too much traffic. The parking is so expensive. I rent it out into someone. And there are people that actually happy to pay for the car. The person that rented it out did around 1 to 2 years of renting, and that car of hers, instead of me paying money for it, is giving me $250 to $300 a week. Instead of me paying $150 a week, it's giving me back money, and that helps on my cash flow too. Those are the tricks that I did. Also, of course, being living on your means. It's easy to look like you're rich. It's easy to get into like, oh, I'm gonna buy all this expensive stuff, all this branded stuff. But the truth is, what is it really makes you? That's not gonna make you happy in a short term. But if you're trying to improve your life, trying to plan your life for a better future by being wise on your finances and being truthful to yourself, that you don't need expensive stuff. You don't need um, to look like you're rich for other people respect you. At least that's just my opinion, and that's just my belief. Especially here in Australia, like, just be good, be nice to someone, be respectful all the time, and that's enough for you to feel good to yourself, to for other people to respect you. And if other people doesn't appreciate it, it's not on you, it's on them. So I hope you guys learned something, and I'll catch you again next time. See ya. Bye.